And we are now joined by Sushil Kumar Singhal, former senior diplomat, to understand what is actually happening in the Caribbean. Welcome, Singhal ji, to DD India. Well, President Trump has said that in order to destroy drug trafficking networks in Venezuela, efforts for strikes on land will be starting very soon. In your view, why is such an action on land being considered necessary?
Well, the President Trump feels that Venezuela has become a major hub of drug traffickers, and they are supplying drugs. Venezuela has become a conduit to supply drugs to USA, and he feels that has a right to strike in on these cartels, which is named them Cartel de los Sols. I know it was very interesting name which has been given, because what the experts as people are saying that it signifies that military officials of Venezuela, because they have insignia of sun on their side, so it's implying that these military officials are involved with the narcotic smugglings, though no evidence has been presented. So that is a legal aspect which I can talk later. But at the moment, what he has done, what the President Trump has done, or the U.S. government has done, they have declared this cartel to be late November, recently last week, I think they have declared them to be a foreign terrorist organization, apart from the narcotics dealers
Yes.
or suppliers,
Yes.
which has given them more legal, political, and military options, because US has different laws which take care of these requirements. And under the garb of these laws, USA has been attacking in the territorial water of the Venezuela and international waters on the vessels which are supposedly carrying narcotics. And so far in last November year only, about 21 attacks have been carried out, and 85 people have died, whether they are smugglers or they are fishermen or ordinary people. Nobody knows, because USA has not given any evidence. So the feeling is coming is that the international norms are not being followed. And now President Trump is willing to, or at least is stating that, is willing to take it to the land, which I have my doubts, because given the reservation that the US government has on boot on the grounds, whether he will carry it out, if in fact or not. But it will, if he does that, it will be a major escalation. And Venezuela, though it's militarily no competition with the US government, but I'm sure they will also take some defensive measures,
Yes.
which may not be in the interest of the US government in long run.
So, how do you think Venezuela would react? What kind of defensive posture is it going to put across Washington's massive fleet, and how far it would ratchet up US-Venezuela tensions?
Well, if it happens, because Venezuela, of course, as I said, there's no comparison when it comes to the might of the USA and Venezuela. They're very small. But when you are attacking on ground, if the on ground attack happens, in that case, Venezuela is capable of inflicting damage to USA. Maybe they will not do the direct confrontation, but they have other tactics, maybe the guerrilla form, because they know the terrain. Americans, whatever they can claim, they do not know the terrain well as the Venezuelans know. So they have the advantage. And we have seen in asymmetric war, be it in Gaza or other places, or in Afghanistan for that matter,
Yes.
that the big countries have suffered very heavily with the hands of at the hand of these small armies. And they're not even armies in Afghanistan, but Venezuela is a well-equipped army, so they can inflict quite a damage. They may be defeated, I mean, in the long run, but they can cause damage which will be unsustainable for USA, because USA will not be willing to take the losses, this kind of losses. So, in my view, I think the US will just threaten, will not actually go for it, because he
Okay.
has already offered the olive branch that we can have a conversation in Washington, and that
Yes.
seems to be the objective.
Okay, that's an interesting point. In your view, how far would the current U.S. actions in the sea and those on land being actively considered prove effective in curbing drug trafficking, which is an enormously profitable criminal activity?
Given the geography, I do not think that USA by force can stop the smuggling, because as you rightly said, the market is so big in USA, attraction is so margin of profits are so high. If there are cartels, they will be willing to take losses, and still they make profit because the margin are so high. So this action in long run, I don't think they will be able to. The US will be able to achieve objectives. Its objective, they have to have a cooperation with the concerned government. Then only they can have a success. But unilateral actions will not help in the achieving their objective. In fact, some experts are talking that it's not merely the intention of the US is not merely limited to the this attacking the drug cartels. They have a much larger objectives,
Yes, and
including the massive reserves of the oils and other resources in Venezuela and Latin American countries. So I don't know how much is true, but this is also a conversation which is going on.
yes. Why has it become so important for President Trump to curb drug trafficking allegedly emanating only from Venezuela? You have spoken briefly about it, but is regime change also on his mind?
Well, certainly, because he does not. He has shown his contempt for the president, which is Nicolas Maduro, who is elected head of government, whether you like it or not. But he's elected by the people of the Venezuela. So one should respect that. But he has claimed that he is in cahoot with the drugs cartels, and as I said, the name also indicate that, implies that their defense military officials are involved, and so he is very keen. He is interested. President Trump wants a government in Venezuela which is favorable to his doing. I'm using very loosely this term doing, and that's whom he likes. So he's by these actions taking directly against the territory, the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of a country. He's trying to undermine the present government of Venezuela and try to show that is a weak and is in cahoot with the drug cartels. Though no evidence, I'm repeating, no evidence has been proved,
Yes.
no inquiry has been done. So it is showing the contempt for the international law also in this manner, which
Yes,
is not very.
contempt for international law. As far as US is concerned, according to US media portals, the US military conducted a follow-up strike on a boat in the Caribbean that it believed to be ferrying drugs, killing survivors of an initial missile attack. So do you think pressure is going to build up within the US to release evidence as far as these drug trafficking operations are concerned?
I'm sure that not only in the USA but even the international, because most of the countries, be it Russia, China, and other countries, even the international organization UN, there is a voice. There is a demand that the evidence should be brought out, because just saying, I mean, I'm sure, I'm hope, and I'm sure, hope against hope that USA has the credible evidence with them, because they have a vast network of resources on which their intelligence would be based. But I think it is important, going to be very important for the credibility of the US government to bring out, to open up, to show that evidence which is available with them, to ensure, to show that the attacks are really against the drug cartels, not for any other objectives. So, I'm sure this pressure will build in USA as well. In the US Congress also already demand is being made, and so far, of course, President Trump has been able to negate it, to bear it. But I think in future, the way things are going on in USA, I think the pressure will build.
Of course, a lot also depends on the meeting, possible meeting lined up between Maduro and President Trump. We leave it here for now. Thank you very much, Sushil Kumar Singhal ji, for joining
Thank
us
you.
on DD India and giving us your great analysis on the subject.